So you know how sometimes it feels like the universe is trying to tell you something and you don't listen, and then later you wish you had listened, and you become convinced that that's the case. The universe was definitely trying to tell you something. Well, that was today. That was today. I had a rough start this morning. I was so tired. I was tired because I haven't gotten much sleep. So I was dropping things and fumbling around, and just, it wasn't a good morning. I had to go out, and I figured since I was going to be out and I was going to be by this particular store, I would stop there. I haven't been there in a long time, but I had wanted to get something from there anyway. So I did that, but it was a rough start. This morning I nearly knocked a cup of coffee off the counter. I knocked a plastic container of salt all over the floor and ended up having to clean it up without paper towels because I had forgotten to get paper towels the last time I ordered something. It was not a good start, and I was half thinking, you know what, I shouldn't go out today. What I do have to do, it can wait a few days. I didn't want to, it could wait until tomorrow. I didn't want to wait until after the elections just because I'm afraid that shit's going to hit the fan, right? I'm afraid there might be rioting. So I wanted to get done what had to be done before the 8th. So I went out despite the fact that something was telling me I just shouldn't. Right. So I did what I had to do. I ran the errand, and then I went to the store. And as I was about to leave, I was heading toward the lines, and this guy stopped me, and he had one item in his cart, and he had one of his bags with him, and then one item, and it was he had gotten, it was like a box of food he had gotten from the deli section or whatever. There was no price on it. It was just one of those boxes. It would have been weighed by the pound. So he asked me if I would pay for the food. He said that he's really hungry. He hasn't eaten in days, and no one was helping him. No, he looked pretty, he looked like he needed help. So I did offer to do that, again, against my own best judgment. I did. Didn't work out well. What happened was, so we got in line, and I said, well, all right, just come on in line with me and I'll pay for it. Okay, we got in line and we were talking. He seemed like a nice guy. Then I looked at the food, the container of food, and there was no price on it because it's one of those self-serving mini bars where you can just go and fill up a container with food, and they weigh it, and they weigh it on the way out when you pay for it, and that's how you find out how much it's going to be. So I looked at it and I'm wondering, wait, how much is this going to be? Because these things could be expensive, and he looked like he had a really big, huge box of it. So I'm telling him, well, okay, we can do this, but not if it's over $20. If that's going to be over $20, I don't have the cash with me. Maybe just go and, get a sandwich. I can pay for that for you. So he's like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem. So we go to the checkout, and, I pay for, I put my stuff on the counter, whatever. And it's, the guy's ringing it up. And then he goes to, I take, the other, and I look at the guy behind me and I said, okay, do you want me to pay for this now? Let's see how much it costs. So let's see how much this costs if you want me to pay for it. So I hand it to the cashier, who by that point understood I was buying something for somebody else. And the cashier weighed it, and he said it was going to be $26 for this thing. I didn't have it. I didn't have it. I couldn't buy it. So I said, look, dude, I can't, you're going to have to get something cheaper, which sucks because, he took it from the, the self-serve. You can't just put it back. But, what happened? So then, he's like, oh, no, I understand. And so he asked where the sandwiches are, and the guy, the cashier said, he pointed in the other direction. And then another guy came up and started talking to the guy and saying something like, you have to go, or something like that. I don't know. And so he looked at me, and the guy that I was going to buy the food for said, looked at me, well, if you want to get a sandwich, get a sandwich. I'm not going all the way back there. I'm like, you know what? Just we'll get something at McDonald's. Okay. And so they both of them go outside. So I pay for what I have to pay for. The other guy comes back in and says, hey, he's waiting for you outside. And I said, all right, just we'll head to McDonald's. That's fine. So we leave and we go outside, and these two are talking, and they're talking about how, now the guy that I was going to buy food for, he was apologizing to the other guy, saying something like he was sorry that he knows he's not allowed to be in the store anymore, but that he was set up the last time, that he was with a woman who, or someone who stole something and he was blamed for it, and that's why he's not allowed in the store. I'm thinking, oh shit, what did I just involve myself in? Because he started to say that because he was with her, they blamed him. Well, now the cameras see me with this guy. What if they fucking blame me? In my case, I have to be very careful because I could be set up. And I'm not blaming these guys, right? But the fucking stalkers will take anything they can to twist into something negative and try to set me up, right? Okay. So they're talking for like a few minutes, and finally we leave, the two of us, we leave, and we head to McDonald's. And I explained to him, look, I have to be careful too, because, and I explained a little bit of the situation that I could be easily set up. And I'm saying, well, I hope, you said that you were with that woman or that guy or someone who stole something. You say they stole something and you were blamed. Well, because you were with that person. Well, I hope they don't blame me for seeing me with you, right? And he said, no, they shouldn't. But he looked worried. He looked concerned. He kind of said it like he wasn't sure. So that's what happened. That's what happened. Then I got home, right? And so I had gotten this soap, this detergent, this whatever. And the bottles looked very similar. The bottles of detergent looked very similar. So I got the one I wanted. I put it in the cart. But when I got home, and at that point, because the bottles looked so similar, I didn't check it anymore. Right? Even when I put it on the counter to pay for it, I just wasn't paying attention because I knew what I had put in the cart. But when I got home, it said it was a different scent. It was a different scent than the one I had picked up. And because the bottles look similar, if I had checked when I was about to check out, I would have known that. But someone clearly changed it when I wasn't looking. And I don't typically leave the cart or turn away. So they would have had to do it real quick. Shouldn't have gone out today. As soon as I dropped that salt all over the floor, I should have known, you know what? Just go back to bed.